Tonight, imagine the quiet pop of a few dark berries landing in a small jar and the soft scrape of a spoon as you taste something that feels like velvet and a little tart at once. In just one jar, we're going to make 3 small rituals: a concentrated blackcurrant cordial, a cooled leaf infusion that's almost savory, and a tiny chilled gelée spoon you can savor as a mindful moment. That's the promise for today: 3 gentle ways to make a little jar stretch across your evening.
I'm Fiona. Welcome back to Earthy Remedy, where nature's wisdom becomes everyday wellness. If you like slow pantry craft, tart fruit stories, and recipes you can actually make tonight, you're in the right place. I'll explain what the berries and leaves do in plain terms: tannins, aroma compounds, simple cautions, and guide you step by step. If you enjoy this, please subscribe so we can keep bringing small, repeatable rituals into your kitchen.
Cold open memory first. Last summer, a neighbor knocked with a jar tucked under her arm. The berries inside looked almost black in the light. She said, "Try this lightly diluted. It's like summer and a hush in one sip." I remember lifting the lid and the brightness hit me. Tart but glossy, with a leaf scent under it, like a green whisper. That small exchange is exactly what these single jar recipes are about: modest, repeatable pleasure. Let's talk for a few minutes about the berry itself. Blackcurrants have a concentrated tartness that comes from acids, and the mouthfeel you might call velvet comes from tannins. Tannins are those gentle, astringent compounds that can create a dry, rounded feeling on your tongue. In tiny amounts, they add texture and complexity. The leaves, on the other hand, carry aromatic compounds that read savory and green, almost like a tea leaf with personality. The bottom line is that both berry and leaf bring something worth tending to carefully. Too concentrated and they'll overwhelm. Treated gently, they add real depth. From a practical perspective, single jar batches keep waste low and flavors bright. Fresh berries are lovely when in season, but frozen blackcurrants are pantry-friendly and preserve that tart backbone if fresh aren't available. And keeping batches small reduces the chance of spoilage. That's part of why we're focusing on one small jar rather than a huge vat you might forget in the back of the fridge. Who might enjoy each of these little rituals? The cordial is bright and concentrated, best diluted and tasted slowly, ideal for people who love tart flavors. The leaf infusion is for those who want a low-caffeine, savory tea-like sip, great in the evening if you're avoiding caffeine. The gelée is a tiny sensory pause, cool, soft, and spoonable. Cautions: the cordial is acidic, so if you have a sensitive stomach, start very diluted. A good rule of thumb is 1 part cordial to 4 parts water. Also, if you're pregnant or on medications, check with your healthcare provider before adding concentrated herbal preparations to your routine. All right, let's make these. I'll read each ingredient slowly so you can write them down or just listen. The full recipe will be in the show notes. Take a moment to gather a small pot, a fine sieve or cheesecloth, a sterilized 4-ounce jar, a small ramekin, and a spoon. Ingredient list for a single jar batch. Read slowly. For the cordial, about 200 grams of blackcurrants, fresh or frozen, 75 to 100 grams of sugar depending on how sweet you want it, and 60 milliliters of water. That 75 to 100 grams of sugar makes it a concentrated syrup you'll dilute later. For the leaf infusion, 6 to 8 small glossy blackcurrant leaves per 240 milliliters of water. We'll steep briefly so it stays leaf forward and not overly astringent. For the gelée, 120 grams of strained cordial, so we'll save this portion from the batch, and 2 to 3 grams of powdered pectin or agar. Either will set gently. Agar sets a little firmer, pectin stays soft. If you prefer less sugar, start at 75 grams and taste the finished cordial before bottling more. Quick equipment recap: a small pot, a wooden spoon, a fine sieve or cheesecloth for straining, a sterilized 4-ounce jar or similar, a small ramekin for the gelée, and a thermometer if you like to be exact. That's it. Now, the cordial. Follow along step by step. I'll number each step and slow down so you can cook along. Step 1. Place your 200 grams of black currants and 60 milliliters of water into the pot. Turn the heat to medium. The water is just there to coax the juices out. You're not trying to drown the fruit, just give it a gentle bath. Step 2. Once the mixture warms, gently crush the berries with the back of your spoon to help release color and juice. You'll hear soft pops, that's the sound I love, and a sharp, bright aroma will lift. Simmer gently for about 6 to 8 minutes, stirring occasionally. You want the fruit softened and the liquid richly colored, not reduced to dryness. Step 3. Remove from heat and let it rest for a minute so it's not scalding. Then strain through your fine sieve or cheesecloth into a bowl, pressing gently to extract as much juice as possible. Leave the seeds and larger solids behind. This is where fine straining matters. Tiny seed fragments can add unwanted texture. Step 4. Measure out 120 grams of the strained juice into a small pot for the gelée later and return the remainder to a clean pot. Add your sugar. Start with 75 grams if you like lower sweetness or up to 100 grams and stir over low heat until the sugar dissolves. Avoid boiling rapidly. You're aiming for dissolved sugar and a glossy finish. Taste a tiny pop. Remember to cool it on the back of your hand first and decide how you'll dilute later. For drinking, start at 1 part cordial to 4 parts water, then adjust. For a spritz, 1 part cordial to 3 parts sparkling water can be delightful. Pause here to let that sink in. If you're cooking along, I'll wait a beat. Now, the leaf infusion, quick and simple. Step 1. Rinse 6 to 8 small, glossy blackcurrant leaves and tear them slightly to release aroma. Step 2. Bring 240 milliliters of water to just under a boil, then remove from heat. Add the leaves and steep for 2 to 3 minutes only. The goal is a soft, savory greenness. Steeping longer will bring stronger tannins and astringency. Step 3. Strain into a cup and cool if you plan to use it as a chilled spritz or spritz linen. Taste gently. If it's too astringent, dilute with more water or shorten the steep next time. The gelée step. We'll use that 120 grams of strained cordial you set aside. Step 1. Place the 120 grams of cordial in a small pot and warm very gently. If you're using pectin, sprinkle 2 to 3 grams into the warm cordial and whisk to dissolve according to your pectin's directions. If you're using agar, dissolve 2 to 3 grams in a small amount of cold water first, then add and heat until the agar is fully dissolved. Keep heat low. Don't boil vigorously. Step 2. Once the setting agent is incorporated and the mixture looks glossy, pour into a small ramekin or into the corner of your jar if you want it nested. Let it cool to room temperature, then refrigerate until set, usually 1 to 2 hours depending on your fridge. Step 3. When you're ready to eat, the gelée will be a cool, spoonable pause, a small, velvet-textured taste of the fruit concentrated, perfect for a slow finish to an evening snack. Storage and serving tips. Keep the cordial refrigerated and labeled with the date. Use within 10 to 14 days. Discard if it becomes cloudy, fizzy, or off-smelling. The gelée will keep 3 to 5 days in the fridge. If you want to make this spritz-friendly, store a small bottle in the door and dilute as you go. A little splash of sparkling water and a twist of lemon is charming. Safety in a calm tone. Start with small sips, 1 part cordial to 4 parts water, and reduce frequency if you notice stomach sensitivity. If you plan to use the infusion or cordial near your face or on linens, perform a patch test first. Dab a tiny amount on the inner forearm, wait 24 hours, and watch for irritation. For anyone pregnant, breastfeeding, or taking medications, please consult your healthcare provider before regularly consuming concentrated herbal preparations. That's careful, not scary advice. And one more practical point. Unless you're certain you've identified wild berries correctly, buy labeled food-grade blackcurrants from a reputable market or use frozen berries from a trusted brand.
I also want to mention how to avoid common mistakes. Don't skip the fine straining step if you dislike seed grit. Don't let the cordial sit at room temperature for long after straining. Cool it quickly. And when making the gelée, follow the setting agent directions for temperature so it sets gently and doesn't become rubbery.
Before we close, let's take a small, guided sensory pause. If you have a spoon and a cooled sample, lift it now. Notice the first impression. Is it tart? A little bright? Then sense the mid-palate, tannin, that soft velvet. And finally, the finish. Does it fade cleanly? Leave a little leaf scent on the breath. Breathe in the steam if warm, or the lifted aromas if chilled. This is not about perfection. It's about noticing. A few encouraging words. Start small, savor slowly, and know that these rituals are meant to be tiny acts of care. You don't have to be an expert to make something that feels special. If you made this tonight, I'd love to hear how your jar turned out. Did you make the gelée firmer or softer? Did you try a spritz? Send us a short voice note or message. And if you like this kind of recipe, subscribing helps us bring more gentle pantry projects to the show. Thank you for spending this quiet time with blackcurrant and leaf. Until next time, listen to your body. Trust the earth. Feel the difference.